back to my channel. Today is the 22nd of June, the day after winter solstice. Nights are long, the day is short. Good morning, welcome back to my channel. This is just gonna be an update on my dual solar setup, my 70 watts solar array. So what are some of the benefits? Well, golly, the sun is quite low today. Normally it's a few degrees way up, actually somewhere up there, but I'll definitely looking forward to making a video the 21st of I believe it's around December, when it's summer solstice. Now getting back to the benefits of a dual solar setup, because the panels are arrayed in various angles, like I mentioned in the video before this one. This panel, it's a 30 watt panel. Let's try to see things from its point of view. Because the sun is that low, and because this panel is still this high, it still has the ability somehow to get my battery into flood mode. Now normally it's bulk absorb float. The third stage is actually the most important part of any flood lead acid battery. Yes, I'm still dealing here with ancient tech, but as far as I'm concerned, battery storage is battery storage. The 40 watt panel then normally gets to capture the sun in the evening. I am gonna attempt to keep this video as short as possible. Time is valuable. So dual solar setup, was it worth the investment? Most definitely, and I will show you the numbers very shortly. One thing I want to point out, one thing I want to mention about battery storage. I understand that lithium ions, and this is true for most lithium ion batteries, they do have the capacity of absorbing or storing the energy for a whole lot faster than compared to deep cycle batteries. Batteries are a bit sluggish when it comes to actually absorbing that energy, and I understand that a well-maintained deep cycle battery is around 70% ish to 80% ish efficient. Now that's taking, for example, 100 watts of energy and then storing up to 70% of that, and lithium ion batteries have the capacity of storing around, say, 80 ish, 90% and up. So while you dump 100 watts into a lithium ion battery, and then you maybe have like a 10% loss. And that is another reason why I wanted, or actually went with the system that I currently have right now. So let's go down, let's see what's happening down there. Flood mode, interesting. I like that. So now it's 25 past 10 and the battery is already in flood mode. So I guess the next challenge, I should try to top up every battery I can get hold of. And it's winter time. Imagine it's winter time, the battery is already flooding. Oh, so much. But let's go into some numbers to make sense of why this battery is actually flooding this early. So here's the reason why I went with the dual solar setup. The battery I currently have is a 105 amp deep cycle battery rated at 12 volts. Now its full potential is 1260 watts. I actually was very privileged to get the battery fresh, meaning that a few days before when I bought it, it was actually topped up with electrolyte. It was allowed to go through its charging phases, charge up to 100%, and it was way back in 2019. So the reason why I went up with a setup of using 20% instead of the recommended 50%. So the battery, 105 amp at 12 volts. The power in theory is 1260 watts. If I used 50% of it, then I only have access to 630 watts. I don't like that, because then the battery will only last around 5 years. I went with option 2, in theory, or at least on paper. This is why I'm making a documentary of it, if I can call it that. 105 amp at 12 volts should be 1260 watts. So 20% of that is 252 watts. Now why I went with option 2 with the dual solar setup, and why I'm still happy with it, I don't stress the battery that much, given that lead acid batteries charge very slowly. And another perk, if I go with the using only 20% of the battery's capacity. The battery will at least last me around 8 years, and the batteries will be happy. They like being charged slowly, they like being discharged slowly. A few bonus points: fill battery slightly more than usual with distilled H2O, or what I like using H2O, it makes me sound smart. I have this belief that if there's slightly more water inside the battery, it will not only cause it to run a bit cooler, but it will also somehow add life expectancy to this battery. I understand that the electrolyte will be slightly more diluted. I'm fine, I'm willing to deal with that, but this is a theory I'm testing out. If this change to the general maintenance that I do on the solar setup will add an extra 1 or 2 years, I'm willing to flow with that. So what do I mean when I said add a little bit of more extra juice to the battery? Well, let's normally pop it open, add the water. So normally it's required to fill up the cells enough to cover up the plates, or else those plates will start corroding. So I normally used the line. I hope it shows up clear in the video. It's right there, it's actually very transparent, this deep cycle battery. You can see, tilt it for you guys a bit so you can see, hopefully it shows up in the video. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So like these cells, yeah, it's due for a top up. The cells up here, they have actually nicely topped up, and that's about, it's about 0.5 centimeters. I top up all the cells up to that level, 0.5 centimeters, just above this. And that's what I mean by what I say, slightly topped up more than usual. Okay, Nathan, I think you can take it from here. Do your thing. Keep terminals clean and secure. In a nutshell, make sure that there's very little resistance. Of course, the cables do come with its own natural resistance. Doesn't matter whether you're using copper or aluminium. Copper is more conductive. Go with that. Wherever you can, it's a bit more expensive. But it will add life to the overall health of your system. So between the solar panel, the charge controller, whether it be PWM or MPPT, and the battery, reduce the resistance as much as you possibly can, because the battery will thank you at the end of the day. And keep solar panels clean as possible. Now normally on mine there's normally just maybe some bird droppings, maybe a bit of dust, maybe those light thunder showers during summertime, rainy season, that's normally associated with dust and rain. It does tend to cause a little bit of, those hard mud, what can I call it, dust and water mixed up, hardened. That is the picture I'm willing to roll with. So thank you for watching this video up until the end. See you guys in the next one.